everyone is supposed to fill in the, where everyone is going to send through their details and just type in what the document requests, and please do not edit anything. Do not add any columns or rows or anything like that. Just put in the information that is needed on that Google Sheet, and yeah, man, let's get the ball rolling. I don't know if there are any areas where there's need for clarity. I'm seeing a lot of people typing in where they are joining us from. Thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of this webinar. Yeah, man, so we're gonna get the ball rolling, and we are going to invite our first guest, whom I want to believe she's ready. I will not preempt my introductions because I want her to do justice to her own introductions. So Esnati from Womantla, I leave the floor to you.
Okay, thank you, Chido. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So, hi everyone. My name is Yokai Esnatkeza, and I'm representing Umantla Foundation. It's a women-led and women-serving organization which is based in Rishabane. So yeah, just a bit about me. I'm passionate about human rights, and I think we all understand, or most of us understand, that menstruation is a human rights issue. And I think I will touch a bit about that. And I'm glad that we are having these conversations about about period poverty. It's actually something that if you're not experiencing, you might think it's not happening, but the reality of the matter is there are girls and young women who are deprived of decent menstruation. So I don't know, Chido, can I start my presentation now?
Yes, you can go ahead, isn't it?
Okay, so I'm going to explain a bit of what menstruation is, and I'm going to talk about just a bit of what period poverty is, and also the human rights aspect of menstruation. So menstruation, basically, it is the release of blood from a girl or female's uterus, and that blood then flows out through the vagina, flows out of the body through the vagina. And what happens is that it is the hormones that cause the lining of the uterus to build up in preparation of a fertilized egg. So what follows is what's called ovulation, when the fallopian tube releases the egg. And if the egg is fertilized, it attaches to the uterus lining, where it develops over time to become a fetus. But then if it's not fertilized, the lining then breaks down and leaves, and that is what we call a period. So menstruation is basically a normal biological process. However, there are a lot of myths, a lot of misconceptions, a lot of stigma that is surrounded by this process, especially in the African context. If you look at it, most African countries, they share the same myths and misconceptions. For example, that when a girl or a woman is menstruating, she is considered to be unclean, especially in their religious or cultural spheres, according to their norms and beliefs. So in the event that you're menstruating, in the religious circles, you're considered to be unclean and you cannot worship. You're not allowed to get into the worship space. And in the cultural sectors, people are not muting their mics. Can you please
apologies for that? All right, apologies for that. For all those who are just joining in, please mute your mics. And if you want to say anything, kindly raise your hand or make use of the chat box. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So in the cultural spheres, you find that when you're menstruating, they say that you cannot prepare food for people because it will bring bad luck or something like that. So it's actually due to lack of understanding of what menstruation really is that we have all those misconceptions and the myths that surround menstruation. So you find that due to those myths and misconceptions, women have their their capacities diminished, they're exclusionary, they are degrading to the extent that they limit the participation of women in different spheres, maybe from leadership in the religious sectors, in the cultural sectors, politically. We find that we lack representation because of the myths and misconceptions that exist. And then in terms of viewing menstruation through a human rights lens, I think due to various issues, for example, the lack of supplies, lack of access to safe wash facilities, due to lack of, due to this discriminatory cultural, religious norms and practices, you find that a lot of rights are affected. A lot of rights are affected. Okay. Particularly the right to health, because you find that can you hear me, guys? People are not muting their mics.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay. Because you find that due to lack of supplies, a lot of young girls and women are resorting to using material which are not hygienic, and then it causes infections at the end of the day. And then this leads to the violation of the right to health, including psychological health, because of the stigma and the misconceptions that surround issues of menstrual health management, because they lack support, and also the right to education, because you find that when some girls who are deprived of proper supplies when they are menstruating, they actually cannot attend classes because it's not actually ideal for them to go to school when they're menstruating because they do not have proper sanitary wear. And also the right to work, because women, when they are menstruating, they are believed to have diminished capacities, so they cannot work properly. And also the right to non-discrimination and gender equality, because they are excluded from various spaces because of that. And also the right to water and sanitation. So it is a topic that is considered to be taboo in many spaces, not something that you can actually openly talk about in the community. Maybe now is a bit better because more and more people are warming up to the idea of talking about it openly, but it's not something that is a comfortable topic to discuss. And then what we as Women Foundation understand about period poverty. Period poverty is the lack of access to sanitary products due to financial limitations. However, it's not only about the economic aspect of it, it's also about the social aspect of it in terms of lack of information and education around the topic. It's also about political aspect of it. When you find that we do not have adequate specific laws or regulations which target the issue of menstruation and also the environmental aspect of it, that we lack disposable methods that are proper and actually proper wash facilities. So I think that is a bit of my presentation. I'm just going to leave it here.
Thank you so much, Esnati, for the presentation. Thank you for highlighting such important factors, issues to do with how women are discriminated religion-wise, how women are struggling out there, and it needs to be put across that it's an important issue to put on the table. Right now, I'm gonna leave the room for any questions, areas that need clarity. I see someone has unmuted their mic. You can proceed to say something. Hello. If there are no questions, is it safe to move on to the next presenter? Kana kuti ndenda dzvinyirira vanhu pamwana nemifunzo yavada kuvhunza. Hello?
Let's move on.
All right then. So we'll move on to our second presenter. As I did with the first presenter, I'm not going to give an introduction of who they are. I'll allow them to introduce themselves. Pastor O, the floor is yours. Pastor O. Unfortunately, he seems to have been booted out. So maybe we can reserve his presentation for last and move on to Brenda if she's in the room. And just a quick one, whilst we're having our presentations, please make sure that you mute your mic. So could you please sincerely mute your mics as we are having our presentations? Brenda?
Okay.
If you are in, I leave the floor to you.
Okay, hi guys, how are you? Thank you very much for the invite. My name is Brenda Luanda, or you can call me Big Sister Brenda. I am, I'm supposed to... Okay, please anyone to just greet me so that I know I'm talking to some people.
Hi Brenda, how are you?
Hi, Brenda.
Hi, Big
Thank you so much.
Brenda.
Hi, Big Sister Brenda.
Thank
you. We appreciate you.
Thank you. So my name is Brenda Luanda. I'm married to Mr. Luanda, of course, and I'm a diaconess, I'm a midwife, and I'm also a girl child empowerment advocate. And I'm also the co-founder of GCG Girls Trust, an organization that serves to eradicate cervical cancer through empowerment of the girl child. And I'm also a successful single life author. Okay, so briefly, that's all about me. I'm going to continue from where my sister left. You know, she talked mostly about a lot of things, and she touched a lot of things that I was like, oh God, do I still need to present after her? Okay, thank you so much. Esnat, if I got your name very well, please someone confirm. that it was S-Nut?
Yes, it's S-Nut.
Thank you so much.
S-Nut.
Thank you so much, S-Nut. So I'm just going to touch a bit. I'm just going to proceed from where she left on it. I would appreciate that all those people that are not able to ask questions, you can type in your question. I'm sure the host could be reading some question, but I saw someone saying, please type in your questions, or you can go to the host DMs and just type in the question, because we are here for you. We want you to know, we want you to understand what we're talking about. And I know you might not get everything, but when you leave this platform, I want you to be able to say, okay, fine, I've got a bit of understanding of A, B, C, D. So we are talking about, I'm like mental health, no, menstrual health management, Auntie. So we want to look at the girl child or the woman holistically during her menstrual cycle. We want her to have a happy period. Can someone just say happy period?
Happy period.
Happy period.
Happy period.
Yeah. Thank you. It's good to
Happy period. Happy period.
Thank you. We can mute ourselves now. So thank you so much. It was very good to hear from a male voice saying happy period, because that's what we want. If a person is going through a menstrual cycle, as it was explained how the menstrual cycle occur, we want a person to have a happy period. So I just want to just touch a bit on some of the physiological changes, emotional changes, and some psychological changes that goes on during your menstrual cycle. So I want to really talk to the guys, because I know the ladies, they know this, but some of you guys, you don't understand us when we're having our time, and that's why, there's this sarcastic statement when people like, someone is just being funny, people are like, kasi ari kunguva. Why would you say that? Because you know that when this thing is happening, there are certain changes that happens in a person's body. So as I'm talking to you guys, I need guys, as in guys, the guys to understand that this is a normal thing that will be going on in a woman's life. I want you to embrace it. I want you to accept it. I want you to understand that even your own mother passed through that. For you to be there, she had to pass through that period. Your sisters, they can also pass through that. So when she presents with these things, please don't think she's being funny. No, she is sometimes it's out of her control. So the first thing is the physiological changes. Some of the time you see these pimples coming up, and she starts having these pimples on her face. Sometimes it's a sign. It's a sign that is about to menses. Guys, when you look at it, they say, when I saw you last time, you looked beautiful. What is happening today? So these are just like, as Esnat said, these are just hormones happening in your body. So she can have pimples. Other people can have actually a nice skin. The skin changes. It becomes fairer, like that skin when you're in the UK, that skin that I'm talking about. So those changes can happen on a girl's on a person's body, and sometimes you are fatigued. I'm talking about the physiological changes that happen. Sometimes you're fatigued. Sometimes you feel like you're just lazy. You don't want to talk to anyone, and you also have the emotional and the psychological changes that happens. There are mood swings. Guys, can you attest to that? That girls will be having this terrible mood swings. They can just give you this nice, soft statement, and you're like, what the hell is happening? It's normal. Just give her the days of her life. Let her just finish that cycle. She's moody. She doesn't want to talk to anyone. Like what Big Sister Esther said, she feels like she's being violated on her body. She feels like she's exposed. So she's trying to contain herself, like she's trying to cover herself, that you guys you don't see what is happening. So she's got this defense mechanism that you can portray. Or she's moody, she's lazy, or she just has got this attitude. So having said that, those physiological changes, I just want to talk a bit on the period pain, right? So After that, there's one thing, there's a thing that is called a period pain. I'm talking about a period pain because most of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys, Big Sister Esther has already talked about, and she has exactly said the things that I want to say, especially when she said that the period poverty can actually be a period poverty on a knowledge aspect more than the resources aspect. So we don't have knowledge. We don't have knowledge about these things. And I want to commend Say What for this platform that you guys are creating. Because you know what? Sometimes you get to 30 and you think you know it all, and you just don't know. So when this platform comes, we get to learn. So before I get to the period pain, please let me highlight this. When it comes to resources poverty, there are a lot of people that can't afford pads. And there are a lot of people that can't afford pads. So we are still advocating for the reusable pads. Fortunately, there are certain people that have them, that have started using the reusable pads, but they're not as popular as we want them to be right now. So we are still going to continue to advocate for reusable pads. Then the other things, like what Sister Esther was saying, that there is no voice in the community, in the Politburo, there's no voice. So when that voice comes, Immaculate, when you are given that platform, or Leslie, when you are given that platform to speak, talk about the reduction of the prices of the pads. Because sometimes there are certain pads that you really want to use. There are people with heavy floors, and some pads, they are not ideal for them. But you want to buy them, they're expensive. So these are some of the things that we need to advocate on, because this is something that is happening in our lives for each and every month. And like a person like me, when I started my period, I was in grade 7. So can you imagine, I've been buying pads since grade 7. And sometimes when God wants to give you a break, you're just giving a break for 9 months when you're giving birth. After that 9 months, the aluta continua. So Immaculate, Leslie, we want that advocacy. When you are given us a time to speak, please speak. That we need the reduction of the prices of pads. We need people to talk more about the reusable pads. Then the last thing that I want to talk about, you're going to the rural areas, and there are people that can't afford pads. Honestly, your cousins and everything from the rural areas, they can't afford pads. So yes, the lecture that you're going to give them, you're going to take your nice T-shirts, old T-shirts, and please may I repeat, white cotton old T-shirts, white cotton old T-shirts. They can use those ones. First of all, they need to wash them. They need to wash them with water and soap. After that, they need to hang them, to hang dry, so that the sun can continue to kill the bacteria. Then after that, they can iron them so that the bacteria continues to be killed. So then they cut in smaller pieces and they use them as pads. Why are we using this cotton T-shirts? Because we're saying the same cotton that we use at the hospital is the same cotton that we're going to use to make these T-shirts. They do not have additives. So when you see someone wearing a cloth or material, please don't say those nasty words. Hey, you're going to have kids. Hey. No, talk to them nicely. You're wearing a cloth. It's okay, but this is red. The reason why it's red is because the additives that has been put on the material. The chemicals that have been put on the material to change the color from white to red. So I advise that you do not use the red or the pink, because the vagina is acidic. Did you know, guys, that the vagina is very acidic? So when you're using those materials, they're going to absorb the paint, and they're going to be absorbed into the vagina, and it's going to cause a lot of reproductive tract infections, like what my sister Esna was talking about. So we need to tell them that the white cotton cloth is very, very user-friendly. Then the next thing, they need to practice good hygiene. Please don't put your hands inside. Don't tunongora inside, because even if you no matter how much you bath and you want to put the whole hand inside, if you're going to go on a period for 7 days, it's still going to be 7 days. To conclude, I just want
Hello. I don't know if it's only me, but can anyone else still hear Brenda?
I think the network
No,
booted
I
out.
think the
I
network
think the
sometimes
network. I
goes.
think it's the network.
All
I
right,
will
all right,
think.
no problem. Maybe whilst we wait for her to join in again, because I can see she's been booted out. That was
Hi, guys.
an insane presentation. Hi, Brenda, welcome back.
Oh, thank you. Oh, my goodness. Someone just booted me out. But I'm back.
It's the network,
Okay.
big sis, we're sorry.
No, right. Don't worry, girl. Let me just conclude, Andika. So, like I said, I can't see those faces anymore. I was enjoying those faces. So I want to talk to the guys now. Guys, when she's crying, she's mourning, she's not faking it, right? Period pain is for real.
Yeah.
It's excruciating. It's painful. When I started my menses, I was in grade. And the first day I had my menses, I had my period pain. I was on top of the tables and everyone was laughing at me. They thought I'd been raped. They thought I was pregnant. You know how it is with kids. So I just want to talk to you on how you can manage period pain. So the first thing that you're going to tell your girlfriend is, one, please take medication prior to the menses. When she starts having those funny physiological changes, when she starts having pimples, when she starts having those moods, when she starts, you know that you're about to get your period, start taking your medication, start taking your Brufen, start taking your Indosid. It needs to be you need to treat it early, because when the period starts, it's difficult to treat the pain, right? I know a lot of you are like, where does the period pain come from? So we cannot really pinpoint that the period pain is coming from this side. It's not really an ABC thing. It's caused by certain we call them prostaglandins that are released, and these prostaglandins they've got nice functions that they give to the body, but unfortunately when you're on your menses they cause excruciating pain. So please take your medication early, and the other thing that you can do is to put, what do you call this, to take warm water, because sometimes there are clots that can that will be formed when the lining is shedding. So you need to take medication that decreases the blood, like the Brufen, right, or the Indosid. And you need to take warm water so that you also declot the blood. You need to make sure that you are warm as well, especially your feet, because when you're touching the ground, the pain exacerbates. You need to take tea. Avoid taking tea with milk because you can vomit. When you feel like you want to vomit, please vomit, because when you vomit, it lessens the pressure and the pain reduces. When you feel like you want to have diarrhea, please have diarrhea. When you have diarrhea, pressure is lessened and you feel better. So the most important thing on a period is, number one, guys, it's normal and it's painful. And I repeat, it's painful, but it can be treated, it can be managed. When you see that your pain is not really responding to the things that I've talked about, go to the doctor, have an ultrasound scan. Probably you've got fibroids, probably you've got some other condition called endometriosis. I know it's too technical, but those conditions can also be treated. So, but generally, period pain is not really something that you can blame yourself. Why do I have period pain and the other person doesn't have period pain? That's how it is. We don't know why, but that's how it is. We have a pain scale. Other people during their period, they've got a 3 out of 10, others have got a 5 out of 10. As for me, I did 100 out of 10, because sometimes I would be admitted, sometimes I would just collapse in front of people. So because of this experience, I want to help my fellow sisters and brothers. Take your medication early. If you're having your period on the 30th, you start taking medication on the 27th, right? I'm seeing this question, does chocolates and what affect period pain? So there is nothing you can say this can increase the pain of period, except probably cold. Because remember, we are saying you've got a bit of cramps and you've got clots. So you don't want anything that can worsen the what? The clot. right? So you just want to have something that clothes you, like medication, we call them non-steroidal, where it's going to make the blood thinner. You want to have warm water that okay, my host is calling me. Is everything okay?
Yes, everything is okay. Just that time, my love.
Okay, so let me just round up. Okay, fine. So chocolates and everything, they don't have a problem, but sometimes you can feel like you want to vomit. So make sure that you just eat things that don't make you vomit. Like you want to eat, you just want to stick to the diet that will not make you vomit, right? And then saying, is period pain contagious? Right? Like sharing clothes. I'm just seeing these questions right now. Host, if you can allow me, I'll be just answering the question that I'm seeing. It's a myth, right? That if you share skirts, if you share clothes, it can be contagious. There is nothing that has been scientifically proven. Like, you know, when it comes to health, we deal with evidence-based practice. So we are saying there's nothing that that can be scientifically proven that sharing clothes, and those people, like if you sleep on a bed that someone had period when, you can take it, or if you share clothes, if you share whatever. I do not really agree. One thing that I can think of is it's a bit of hereditary, right? If your family, you've got that problem, sometimes you can pick it up. You deal with diabetes or what you call the hypertension, but it's not always the case. Because with me, my mother's sister had severe period pain. The daughter has severe period pain. My sister doesn't have period pain. Okay, beautiful song.
So you can proceed.
Okay. Okay, so someone just said girls normalize drinking water. That is very correct. It has to be a normal routine. When you wake up in the morning, take warm water, right? It cleanses a lot of things. It's not about girls only, even men. You wake up in the morning, 30 minutes before you take warm water. It helps you, right? Someone was saying, can you have sex during periods? Yes, you can. There is no taboo against it. It's just that people find it awkward. Sometimes people find it and people, sometimes you're uncomfortable. But I'm looking at you, I mean, you stay in America and you're married and you just came back home for 1 week and your wife is on your menses. Are you going to stop? No. But you need to just understand that you need to talk to your partner. You're going to have a good bath. Soon after the bath, you can have sex. If you feel uncomfortable, you can use condoms. But people feel like, and if I have, I'm just thinking a funny question that sex helps in period pain. Okay, so let me just finish that. So you need to practice good hygiene when you're having sex during period. You can have it in the shower. This is for married people, or you can have it soon after bathing, and you can use a condom. People say a man can feel patient when you're having period, when you're having sex during period. Okay, fine. It's not scientifically proven. A reaction can happen anytime. If you feel it's not working for you, then stop. But if it's working for you, then there's no problem. Sex helping period pain. Oh my goodness, masturbation helping period pain. Okay, let me just start with sex. Sex helping period pain. Guys, period pain depends with the degree of the pain. If you have the degree of period pain that I used to have, that would be you've been admitted, you can't have time for sex, right? So when you have sex, there are certain chemicals that are released in the body that makes you feel good, that makes you feel, I don't know, that euphoric state. So maybe for people with mild period pain, probably that can help. So guys, I don't want you to go and say when your girlfriend is having a period pain, say, I heard that when you have sex it's gonna ease the pain. No, it depends with the severity of pain, because there is a certain degree of severe of period pain that you can't even eat. Like I said, the most important thing is take your medication early, have an ultrasound scan, rule out all other things, make sure you don't have fibroids and everything, right? Then there's another person that talked about masturbation. To be honest with you, I do not.
This is Brenda.
Okay.
Just a quick one. We have another person who's supposed to present. So maybe we can just do this. We can allow him to make his presentation, and then after the short presentation, we take in any questions that people have pertaining all three presentations. Would that be okay?
Okay. That's very, very okay for me.
All right, thank you so much. I know people are craving, people have so many questions. I can see in the chat box. There are questions left, right, and center. But we're just gonna give the floor to Pastor O, who's gonna make his presentation, and then afterwards we can throw in as many questions as we want, and we just make sure that we get the ball rolling. I am sending in the link to the attendance register from time to time. So please do bear with me, because some people are joining in and they're going to watch that link so that they can fill in their details. So I'll be sending it from time to time. And if you're having difficulties with filling in the register, I will put in a number where you can contact me and I will help you through the process. So Pastor O, if you're in the house, it was yours.
All right. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Chido. And I also just want to thank the other speakers who have who spoke before me, and you know, the heated discussion about, you know, the real thing. I'm sure many people will have questions. If admin can help us by muting people that if the admin can help us by muting other people that are speaking in the background, please, that will be helpful. Yes, so my task is not as a very, and my presentation is not as exciting as the previous speaker, who was really speaking into the real issues. My task is to speak about ending period poverty. And I'm sure when we talk about period poverty, we are actually talking about, you know, the effects of you know, menstrual health on our livelihoods and on the livelihoods of many of us. And you know, people think that menstrual health is a women's issue, it's a girl's issue, but I think it's all our issue, because I'm sure everyone, almost everyone who is part of this platform, and almost everyone, have probably yet been excited that someone either missed their period or someone were on their period. Someone has had an excitement that they missed their period, or they have had an excitement that they were on their period. So everyone is really affected by this issue. So it's not a women's issue. That's why I'm here today as a clergy, as a man of God, to really talk about this issue. So there's a saying that when you educate a girl child, you have educated a nation. So what the effect of girls being on their period and there is no supportive structure the first being the family structure, which is not there. We will see that many of our girls and young women, some actually grow in broken families, some grow in without both the parents being there, some actually grow up and they start their periods when they are living with a parent who is not a woman. And if the parent doesn't really know about that, you will see that that's when they can't start the conversation. Like the previous speaker said, you know what, it's really a taboo in our community. So we find girls and women missing school, girls missing school because they are on their period. So if she's going to miss 4 days every month, then we can also talk about issues to do with equality, issues to do with equity, and being not able to perform the same with someone who has been in school every time. So that's where the poverty begins, because you remember I said the saying that says when we educate a woman, you educate a nation. So when our girls and young women miss school, we are actually missing a lot of opportunities. We are missing their economic potential. We are missing their potential to be good mothers. And every time when someone has not been able to really go to school as a mother or achieve in school as a mother, you know, it's the ripple effects are that even their children or even themselves, they will not be able to take the same school issue seriously. And because our children actually spend time mostly bonding with their mothers, and if the mother is not done well, that's the first person, or that's the first line of inspiration that they get. So you know, it is very difficult right now. Right now, as we speak, prices of commodities are skyrocketing, which means the price of pets cannot be spared. So the level in which people are going to be affording those pets also is just going to be difficult. So it becomes a poverty issue when we don't look at issues to do with affordability of the pets. So you see girls and young women resorting to other means to deal with that particular time, because affordability of the pets, you know, when people can't afford even school fees, and then this period comes each and every time, and you know, the cost of a pet on average is probably $1, which means they need you know, more than $1 every month to be able to deal with their period, which is a challenge. So how do we end period poverty? How do we end stigma that is associated with periods? How do we make sure that you know, our families especially understand this issue? The first thing is, let's talk about it. Let's not be ashamed to talk about periods. Let's talk about period, and let's make sure that we start this conversation with our young ladies at a very, very young age. I remember I was dealing with a certain story, and this child was being taken from school by these guys with the small cars, and the young girl spoiled. For the first time, she spoiled in the car. Then she was shy to actually move out, and she asked this guy and say, can you drop everyone else and drop me last, because there's something that is happened to me. So the guy knew, and so she asked the guy and said, what could have happened? And the guy said to her, you know what has happened? You have lost your virginity. So later on, the guy took advantage of this young lady, and you know, he had to sleep with her and saying to her, you know what, you're no longer a virgin. And she didn't know what had happened to her. The guy had to actually buy pads for her. So if we don't talk to our children at a tender age before this happen, you know, they have people that are going to talk to them about those issues, and they're going to give them, to misinform them. The conversation should not be a taboo, because, you know, when this happens, no one is expecting it to happen. No one knows what is happening. And if it happens in a place where they are not safe, then someone is going to take advantage of your child. Someone is going to take advantage of your sister. So at family level, if you want to end period poverty, let's talk about periods with our children. Let's talk about periods with our families. Let's not be ashamed to do it. Let's have this conversation, because it's a life conversation. It's a health issue, and let's normalize talking about it. All right, and let's normalize saying what it is. Kana ukasatogona kutaura kuti kunonzi kuenda kumwedzi, then you cannot even start the conversation about it. So when we talk about it, you know, we remove the stigma that is associated to it. When we remove the stigma that is associated to it, then we then increase access to information, to the correct information, and then we can deal with it. The only challenge is that we are having these days, that we have broken down families, not broken down in the sense that people are divorced from each other, or someone is living with a single parent. We are divorced in the sense that, you know, everyone else is on social media when people get home, and we don't really have time with our children. So when we don't have time with our children, even to speak about things that are not taboo, what about these issues? So I'm just posing a challenge. We are people that are based in different family setups. Let's make sure that we are able to start these conversations, because they are very important conversations. So I just want to challenge you and say the first line of ending period poverty is making sure that we talk about it. It's making sure that we challenge those things that are called taboos. And number two, I talked about prizes. Let's also just in a way make sure that the organizations that are here, let's come together and let's us advocate about on issues to do with taxes, that has to do with importation of those pads, and so that, you know, they are a bit cheaper. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is, let's integrate making of sanitary wear into fashion and fabrics in schools. Let's integrate menstrual health products in schools. So every term, our children in schools are being taught to kusona ma apron, kusona zvinhu zvausingafi. If you are here, if I'm going to ask you and you are doing fashion and fabrics in school, the question that I'll ask you is, the things that you were making in school, where else have you made them? And where else have they worked for you? So why not say this year, from primary to N level, everyone who is doing fashion and fabrics should be able to make those pads. So if NGOs are going to, you know, bring the materials and the training that is needed to teachers that teach fashion and fabrics in schools, then we are going to have everyone being able to make reusable pads. Every student that is part of fashion and fabrics being able to make pads, than make aprons, being able to make pads than, you know, making a skirt that will not even, you know, that you are not going to make even in your lifetime. So the advantage with reusable pads is that they can be used over time. As long as someone has access to water, you can be able to wash them. So those pads that are made by fashion and fabric students, they are put in a safe place where a teacher who is able to distribute them can distribute them. So even if the government wants to, last year the government made a commitment to put a lot of money into procurement of pads, but why not, put that money into making reusable pads that are made at school, so that they're available at school, and so that in addition, we're talking about period pains. We can also have a corner where we find painkillers in schools, so that if someone has those cramps, if someone is going through that pain, they can be given painkillers by a guidance and counseling teacher or their class teacher or any champion who is in school, to make sure that they deal with those issues. So I think my submission has been very small, but I believe probably in a big way. So I'll just point out, let's talk about it. Let's make sure that we shun away stigma that is associated with it. Let's also place our priorities right in terms of how do we want to make sure that girls do not miss school because of periods. Thank you. I will take questions if I have to take questions now, or if I have to take questions later. I will stand to be guided by the presenter.
Thank you so much, Pastor O, for the presentation. Questions can start coming in now. You can start answering questions now. And I see that people were making a lot of comments directed to your presentation. And it means a lot having a male voice in issues to do with menstruation.
All right.
Shingi said we should make use of reusable pads. Sorry, could you please mute your mics if you are not saying anything? Thank you very much. I was saying, Shingerai said we should make use of reusable pads. Sure, in the next 5 years, vanotengesa mapads vanoshaya wekutengesera, because most of the people wanting how to make reusable pads. Thank you so much, Shingerai. I'm just gonna read through a couple of comments and few questions.
I just want to speak on this conversation that keeps on happening about condoms being for free and sex being a choice, and periods not being a choice, and pads being sold. So the danger is to mix conversations. Condoms serve their purpose, and would go on with the discussion when we say sex is a choice, because it's not a choice many times, and especially when we talk about first times. So let's not mix the conversation. So if we are pushing the conversation about sanitary wear, let's take it as a health issue that has to be treated in its own way. When we talk about condoms, let's just talk about them, as commodities that prevent STIs, HIV, and pregnancy. So I'm very uncomfortable with mixing that conversation, because even when we talk about choices, most of the young people that are having sex for the first time, they are not doing it out of their choice. Even married people are not doing sometimes sex out of their choice. So let's just be able to separate that conversation.
Thank you so much, Pastor O. So enlightening. And so true. This is a conversation that people have all the time, and they're comparing condoms and sanitary wear, but the perspective that you bring to the table is so enlightening, and I think it's worth diving into and actually focusing on. Menstruation is a health thing, and we need to focus on it from a health perspective. In with that, commented Kwashe, even if even if maybe a choice, they protect the boy and the child from STDs are not only they protect both genders. Thank you so much, Kwashe, for it. So allow three, four to maybe ask to anyone presenters. The floor is yours. I'm the first person unmute them. You can see to ask or bring in your question.
Thank you, Chido. Can I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I want to thank Pastor O for the presentation that he did. And I also want to highlight that Pastor O is my mentor. For me to be able to empower other people, it was because of him. So I think being empowered is just an important step for us to be able to address these issues. One thing that I wanted to highlight when Pastor O said, let us work together as organizations which are here to ensure that we end period poverty. I also want to add on to that. How do we hold the government accountable? Because like he said, in 2020, the government made a commitment to provide free sanitary ware in schools. And that is according to the Education Amendment Act that was adopted in 2020. But then the reports that came in 2021, in the early months of 2021, we heard that some schools did not even receive the sanitary ware, even though the money was budgeted for it. And some schools did not receive proper sanitary ware. Some received what do you call them, panty liners instead of sanitary ware. So maybe it's a proposal that we have to find ways to make sure that we hold the government accountable so that it owns up to its commitments. That's my...
Thank you so much, Esnati, for the contribution. We will have Nobuhle and Brighton in that order. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for the powerful presentation. I hope I'm audible enough. My voice is not that good. I flew. My question is, I've noticed that when menstruating, I take 5 days, and on the third or fourth day, I just notice a clot, and for the past 10 years, I thought a clot would mean that it's the end of my period for that cycle. But then after that day, the following day, I would see again, I begin, and I wonder if that's normal, and I have never asked anyone. And today, as the presentations went on, I thought of asking this question. And my second question is that clot normal, or what brings about that clot? It would be a big meat like that comes after those days. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for the questions. Maybe Brenda can just respond.
Okay, so normally I want to say, do not worry. The clot is very normal. Madam Andrea, please do not worry. It's very, very normal. Like I said, one of the things that causes period pain is the formation of clots during the shedding of blood. So when we are growing older, or when we are participating to pray, things tend to change in our lives. And my periods are not going to change. It's either maybe the days lessons my cycles are not going to change. If you notice, maybe I'm 20 now, you're going 15. So don't worry yourself. And remember, when you're having a period, you're not going to then blood in the system. Then some of maybe after 2-3 days, the blood is coming out. So that clot, it has nothing to do with anything really wrong, Pauri. Andika, it's normal to a lot of girls. If you're not experiencing it before, you're experiencing it now. If you're having any issues, just take your warm water with ginger, like someone said. Warm water alone can work. You can take a brufen if you're feeling any pain. If you're not feeling any pain, it's okay. But normally when the clot is coming out, in a can pain, so that it accompanies with. So don't worry yourself about the clot. That is a very, very normal thing. Don't even worry. I repeat, don't worry.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Brenda.
so much.
You heard for yourself. No, do not worry. Temporary. So you don't need to worry. Oh my gosh, so many people are raising their hands, but there was someone who was meant to speak after Nobuhle. I'm forgetting who it was. Could you please proceed to that person? And then we'll have Eugenia, Prince, and I'm not sure who this is. Akangon's user, you come in third. Please note that unfortunately we won't be able to address all of your questions due to time, but if the presenters are comfortable, you can put in your contact details so that the people can come for one-on-one conversations with you in areas where they might need clarity. That way, we don't leave anyone hanging. We address all the matters at hand, and one-on-one can be assisted. So, Eugenia, Prince, and can
Okay.
come in order.
I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Okay. My issue was on, we have a lot of organizations that are saying, let us help
Hello?
support. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes,
hear
we
you,
can.
Bryson. Go on.
Okay, so I was saying we have a lot of organizations that are saying, let us help support the provision of sanitary ware, which is good. I like that aspect, but I wanted to ask in terms of the faith-based sectors, do we have religious sectors that are supporting that same initiative? Because I've noticed, I won't mention names, but I've noticed certain religious sectors that's kind of go against the issue every time to go farm to distribute my pets. It's like I don't know if we have someone who is advocating on behalf of the faith based sectors. I mean, I'm happy we had passed it today, but I wanted to know if we have more of those guys who are also supporting the same issue and also moving in the same direction with us as we are saying we want to support menstrual health. Thank you.
So what I did not get, Brighton, is you're saying there are people who are advocating against distribution of pads.
Yeah, not exactly against it, but they're kind of like, they make it seem as if it's something, nyadzisa kutanzi inini as a guy in the phone on my pads, or kutanzi inini ndodzitsa vasikana on putting on pads, maintaining your menstrual health and all of that. They say it's something that is meant for girls to learn on their own or for them to learn from their mothers. Guys, it's kind of a bit of a taboo for you to be teaching women about that kind of stuff because kwamuri mean it doesn't apply.
All right. So I'm sure that's those are the things that we are talking about when we are talking about stigma associated with menstruation, and that's why when we are also saying it's giving us a lot of challenges. For example, vanamai vanogona kuenda ku South Africa, or your parents may be kumusha, and you are left in town, and you are with your sisters or with your cousins, and how we are living these days. The reason why we should be able to talk about it is that we have lost the family that was there before. where vanatete were there, where vanambuya were closer. Families are moving, we are moving because of schools and because of opportunities. So whoever is there should be able to have that conversation. And when they have that conversation, you should never be then forced to say things that are, that are even detrimental to the other person. Because sometimes if a girl spoils at school, man, if one wasn't azivi kuti what's happening, then it's going to be another set of information that is going to go around. And the next thing, the girl is not comfortable going to school because akambosekwa, and people said things that were not, what it is. So yeah, all these issues, we have people that try to fight it. We have people that want to make them sacred. We have people that want to demonize them. We have people that try to, make people silent. But, the challenges have been seen, and we need to deal with them. How do we do them? Let's talk about kuenda kumwedzi.
Yeah, that's true.
At least you are hearing a pastor actually saying it by name. Let's change the narrative. We are in the 21st century now.
Yeah, thank you. So, gents, let's help our sisters. We are our sisters' keepers. Thank you, guys.
Yes, thanks, Pride.
Can I just say something?
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Oh, sure. No problem, Brenda.
Okay, I just want to conclude. I want to be excused. I just want to leave. You can always reach me for questions. I don't mind, but I want to really concur with what Pastor is saying. Guys, there are a lot of loopholes in our country, in our nation, in the whole world. And one of the beautiful statements that I love was what the Miss Universe from South Africa said when she was winning the title. She said, take up space. Andika, she was talking about ladies and everything, but my challenge is I'm also talking to the question that was asked, take up space. And where you see a gap, take up space. If you're not invited to the table, I love this motto that we do as midwives. If you're not invited to the table, bring your own chair. And bring your own chair. What ndatoya meeting? And chair yangu ipi? Chedera yokuti garisani. And so my organization so far made us reusable pads. I know one person, we just bumped into each other and they started talking. But you can imagine, she said, let me start. Andika, remember when HIV came, it begins with you.com. You remember that statement? So I'm saying, Kuti, if it really bothers you that much as an individual, then take up space. Andika, we achieve something. Saka mukaona kuti ku mental health kune gap, let's take up space. Mukaona kuti ku menstrual health, if we really want to hold the government accountable, government is already a lot on their plate. But if you take up space, if you bring your chair to the table, they'll listen. Andika. So we need a generation that is very vibrant. Andika, I was just talking about today, I was saying, could you know what? There are certain things in Zimbabwe that are changing because someone is taking up space. Where I come, the city parking came and then it just said, okay, let me partner with the city. Takutogadzira parking system, takutogadzira malining roads asiri kuonekwa. It took up space. Kuma passport ahead, there's another company that came and said, let's partner with the passport office of Zimbabwe. Now I got my passport within a matter of days. 2 days, my passport was out. So you see a gap, you go there, and you bring you come up with an idea. You present your idea. Take your time, you guys, you're young. Sit down, fill up the gaps of Zimbabwe, fill up the gaps, take up space, bring your chairs to the table. And we can achieve this. In the next 5 years, Mugatanga, tutonoti mumapedzi mumachikoro asisiri nyaya. So I like what Pastor said. There should be easily available tablets in the schools. Because in Dakarwara, I didn't get help. I had to go to the hospital. And so in conclusion, all I'm saying is, let's not wait for someone to start these things. Let's not wait for the government. Let's not wait for the educational sector. Let's go with our chairs to the table and say, we have come to present this issue. So in kind of education, kind of health, kind of together in the next 5-10 years, if we take up space, we are going to make it. And those who are saying anything about my period pains, don't worry. If your scan says you don't have a problem inside, anything that you have can be manageable. I love you so much, you guys, and I'm so happy that you're vibrant. And I hope you're going to take up space. And Pastor, I am so thrilled, and it's an honor to hear from you and from a man of God, and to hear from a man. I noticed supporter. See, Pastor is already taking up space. So let's join Pastor. Let's take up space and let's bridge this gap. We can do it. We can. Thank you so much, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Okay, thank you so much, Brenda, for being our guest. We are so grateful. We learned a lot from you. I feel that a lot of people still had a lot of burning questions that they had towards your presentation and towards menstrual health as a topic in general. But with your approval, this is me hoping that Brenda is still in the meeting. Maybe we can share your details with
Go ahead.
yes. Big sis, maybe you can share your details with us so that people may be able to get in touch with you in case they have more burning questions and issues around menstrual health that they'll need clarity on.
Okay, so you can actually, I'll type my phone number on the chat section, but it's 0772-816-139. I'll repeat, 0772-816-139. My name is Brenda, and I've just driven to Harare, and in the bedroom. I love you guys. Goodbye, Pastor. Thank you so much. Esnat, if you're still there, thank you, my sister, for taking up space. God bless you guys. We love you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, Brenda. As I mentioned before, due to time, faster, and we have a lot of things that we would have wanted to touch base on, but we are out of time, unfortunately.
Brenda, my last word, Chido, is guys, to all the guys that are here and that are not here. When you want to see her and she says she's on a period, please go ahead and still send transport money. Go ahead and still send lunch money and don't turn her away. Right? Let's be able to show the same love that we have for our sisters and for the ladies, either they are on their period or not. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My apologies. Their network had put a number on me, but I was saying, I don't know, due to time, we have to wrap up our webinar. But I'll just love to ask Esnati and Pastor O to maybe give us their contact details if they're comfortable, so that maybe people can come to you for areas they would need clarity on. So maybe I can start with you, Pastor O, and then Esnat. Hello, Pastor O, are you still with us?
All right, guys. Thank you so much. So I'm going to post my number, my WhatsApp number on the chat box, so that you actually copy it from there. Then you can also follow me on social media. I'm very active on social media. My Instagram is at onward_Gibson, at onward_Gibson. My Facebook is Onward Gibson. So yeah, I have posted my number. You can also find me on those social media platforms. The number that's starting with a +1. What did I do? I sent to. All right, there it is. There it is. I hope you can see it. Confirm.
Miss Lokwala send you homework.
It's
Miss
there,
Awabdala,
Chilo.
what is it?
Yes, I said something powerful when you are not here. You missed it, unfortunately.
Late.
Oh, shame. Well, fortunately, the meeting is being recorded, so I can get a chance to go back and see what you. But thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, and SNG, if you're still a part of us, could you please just share your details and how we can get in touch with you?
Okay, thank you, Chido. So my WhatsApp number is 0774 822 852.
Yes.
0774 822 852. And I have texted in the chat box as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Essie, for this. Thank you for the Kate for invitation. But there's some so nobody inbox those who need help with any clarity on any of the issues, and all those who are having challenges with typing in their details on our register. You can send through your information via WhatsApp to 0771 539-361. I will repeat, 0771 539-361. I am also going to put the number in the chat box, and I'm also going to put the register for the last time and allow for people to fill in their details. And when you can send them through that number. We would need your name, your institution, phone number, and email address. I hope we all got that clearly. Thank you so much for being a part of this webinar. We apologize to all those whose questions we didn't address. Feel free to continue with the conversation on our social media platforms. We are available on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You just search Say What Organization and you will find us there, and we can continue this conversation on our social media platform. Conversation and we will continue talking about these issues as they are important and they deserve to be put on the table and actually given some light on them. Thank you so much. I don't know if there's anyone who has anything else to say before we close our webinar. Hello?
Thank you guys for tonight. This was very informative and educational. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brighton.
Thank you very much. It's Elijah PC from Agamba.
All right.
Hello.
So much listening in.
We love to see it.
Also love to see it so much, everyone. And Have a lovely evening.
Thank you, Kido.
Hello. Thank you very much. Mana jeans hazijiweza amagasegerera
I see that we were restricting people. They wanted to show us their faces. Hello, everyone. Unfortunately, we have to end the meeting.
You join, you download, then you join.
What can we continue, guys?
Unfortunately, we cannot.
Continue.
We cannot.
Let's continue. Let's just continue.
Link of register.
The link is in the chat box, but let me just send it again.
Okay, thank you.